We are live now.
Okay. So, hello and a very warm welcome to all of our viewers. Tonight, I, Sweta Singh, on behalf of Ahmedabad Book Club, in association with the Eternal Quest, will be hosting this interactive session along with my fellow co-authors of the anthology, The Unsent Letters from the South Asian Diaspora. This book features open letters on various topics like self acceptance, mental health, regional and gender disparity, beauty inclusivity, colorism, values and beliefs, compassion, relationships, and inspirations. It stirs a conversation about how impressionable we are to our surroundings, society, culture, and our loved ones, how we get motivated, inspired, and sometimes even wounded. So I thank and welcome all my co-authors who have joined from varied time zones for making the session possible. I will begin the discussion by introducing them all of the people to you, followed by sets of questions and answers pertaining to our book. So we have our first guest. She is Joanna Joseph, who joins us from Malaysia. She has been a source of inspiration worldwide ever since she was crowned for Miss Selangor Earth 2016 in Malaysia. The 24-year-old has come a long way from fighting her battles with obesity at a very young age and has gone through stages of bullying, depression, and much more growing up. She debuted as an author with her book, Life to Inspire, discussing her journey of transformation and success. Besides that, she is also the CEO of the platform livetoinspire.co, where she has modeling, self-esteem coaching, and confidence coaching classes and conceptual photo shoots on Being and Brown and Beautiful. Hello, Joanna. Thanks for coming. Our
Hi.
another hi. So our
Thank you.
another guest for tonight is Krishna Parekh. She is the first generation Indian American writer, actor, model, business professional, dancer, Zumba instructor, and a former Miss Connecticut, United States International. Having lived in Midwest and currently in the East Coast, Krishna incorporates her experiences from the younger years in India, being in an unconventional family setting in America. Through her work, she explores the topics of self love, self healing, romantic love, and growth. Her writing incorporates her love for all things in nature and the very emotions of the human experience. Thank you, Krishna, for joining.
Hi,
Our
thanks for having me.
Thank you. Our another guest is Natasja. She is a feminist, mental health advocate, and a writer of Indo-Caribbean descent. She is a global citizen who was born in Suriname, raised in Netherlands, resided in Spain and Belgium as an adult, then returned to Netherlands again to forge her own path of bravery as a writer. Her alma mater includes the Hague University and Antwerp University. During those years, she was active as a certified tutor, English coach for prep school, and head of the PR commission for her undergrads and ideas magazine. She combines her interest in mental health and teachings of her alma maters on her blog Unearth My Roots. She is also currently working on her first novel. I welcome you, Natasja. Hope you have a great time here to discuss
Thank
on this.
you.
Yeah. Our another guest is Megha Saxena, who joins us from Ahmedabad, India. She is a marketer by the day, a poet by the night, and a creative junkie by passion. She strives to strike a chord with the hearts, minds, and souls of her audience by presenting poetry in video format on her social media platforms. Thank you, Megha, for joining. And thank you. Finally, we have our final speaker for the night, Dr. J Vijay Lakshmi. She is an award-winning poet and has authored around 6 books. She has a doctorate in English literature. Her latest book, Love Beyond Love, is a bestseller and has won second prize at Coimbatore Literary Award 2020 for the same. So thank you so much for joining. So I'll begin with my questions and I'll start with Joanna. I want to know your journey and how writing has played an important part in it.
So, hi everyone. My name is Joanna. Firstly, thank you so much for having me on this. I really, really appreciate it. And indeed, it has been a roller coaster ride from the little girl until who I am today. And I started writing at a very early age. I think at the age of 5 or 6, because I was exposed to a lot of storybooks at home, and my parents really enjoy reading as well. So they used to buy me tons of books, such as Enid Blyton, Peter and Jane, and the list goes on. So since I used to be a really obese kid in school, and when I did not have friends to talk to and stuff, I used to bring my books to school all the time, and I used to read in class during my free time. And then on the lonely days, I would occasionally start writing. And I realized that writing really helped me out a lot, especially when it got my thoughts on paper and whatnot. So back in high school, I used to write a lot of fan fiction. So I'm a huge fan of Justin Bieber. So I used to write like lots and lots of fan fiction. And we used to pass it around class, and my friends used to read as well. And I realized that they enjoyed what I wrote, and they kept asking, like, oh, we need a chapter 4, we need a chapter 5, what happens after this? So that was where my passion came from to write, from reading at first and then towards writing. And it was indeed an honor to come out with Live to Inspire, which is a book of my own. And it has my whole journey in there from the age of 7 onwards, and how I battled with bullying in high school and what I did to overcome it. Also, I had a ton of diet tips inside, and also weight loss tips where anyone can actually do it at home. And it's pretty simple and stuff. And I'm really glad that it has helped a lot of people out there. Yeah.
That's a wonderful journey. So you and I have got Annie Platten and Justin Bieber in common. So that's amazing. Great. So I'll get back to you soon. Krishna, what about you? Tell me about your journey and how writing has played an important part. Krishna, I think we can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I was saying that I kind of share this with Joanna. I was also a very obese child growing up. I didn't know how to express myself. Growing up in a really weird, I guess, family scenario. So I kind of resorted to writing as a means of expressing myself, and I didn't realize that I was doing that at a younger age. And as I grew up, I realized that I was better able to express myself in writing versus actually talking. So that's what I resorted to, whether it's like writing in journals or just writing my thoughts for the day, whatever it was. So whatever I do right now, it's kind of just it starts out with writing, but I turn it into visual arts. And over the years, I've been trying to kind of break out of my shell, which is why I did the pageant, kind of like putting myself out there in front of people. So that was more than anything, I think it was a journey to self for me, not just, it's a beauty pageant, yes, of course, but for me, I think it was a personal journey to discover me. And that's what I think writing helps me do too, to discover myself on a deeper level. So yeah, I mean, I've been writing for a while, but I think the passion for writing just ignited when I realized what it does to me and how it helps me explore myself deeper and also help others in the same way.
That's amazing. I think it feels surreal when you go there out of your comfort zone and be out there to express yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So Natasha, tell me about your journey and how you feel about writing.
My journey with writing began when I was a small child too. I wrote fictional and non-fictional stories in my journal, so it's not that different from Joanna and Krishna. Writing has ever since remained a constant in my life as an emotional outlet or a form of escapism. So like them, I know how powerful and healing writing can be too. And that's basically why I share vulnerable stories now, and I give writing workshops on my website, natasjawrites.com. At the moment, my focus lies on mental health, on self-compassion, and on communal healing through writing. So that's where I'm at in my personal journey.
That's good. And what's your novel that you're working on? Like, can you give an idea about that?
Sure, it's a fantasy that centers queer people of color, and it's about a group of students who go to a university that's unknown to mankind, and someone's gone missing, and they're trying to figure out what happened to the person who went missing. And while they're doing so, they uncover a bigger mystery at the university. That's what I can tell you so far.
Great. Okay, so we move to Megha. Tell us about your journey and about writing.
Unmute.
Megha, you're on mute.
So I have been writing ever since I was a child, and I used to do little scribbles on the back of my notebook. There would be these random sentences, little poems, and stuff like that. So I have been writing ever since then. But yeah, the discovery of that I am passionate about writing and that I can pursue writing, that came from my teachers, when my teachers actually told me that she writes quite well. And that's when I uh, started giving more attention to my writing. And I kept writing a lot of poetry. Poetry is something which I would say that I'm very much driven towards. And I had this thought that I wanted to publish my poetry, probably in the form of a book or online. And during long lockdown, I had this idea that I should start my poetry channel, which I did, and that's how I got connected to you guys also. So it's been a lovely journey since that time.
That's an amazing journey indeed. So, Vijayalakshmi, tell me about your writing experience.
Yeah, definitely. So my journey began at the age of 16, and at one particular point of time, there were like a lot of questions, which bothered me a lot, especially who am I and what is my place in the universe. So my first book, that is Quest for God, uh, that is, and the poetry collection, that is Poem from the Eternal God. So I have tried to find an answer to all these. But these answers, as you see, they are always open ended, and the search for the soul, it remained in vain. For no one can describe those experiences as words would not be enough to describe those. And the experience, even the experiencer, has to be silent, and in silence, he or she would realize the truth. And poetry is always dear to me. The imagination, along with the coherent flow of thoughts and different variants of experience, always excites me. And I also wanted to speak out my heart on various notions of life. And I feel that life is a gift, life is wonderful, and life is a gift given by God. And I just wanted to paint life in its authenticity, and it's just a wonderful feeling. So that's how I came up with the poetry collection, that is Love Beyond Love. So I would just like to quote a few lines.
Sure, sure.
In life and in continuum of life, everything was lost. The interference of mind, mind and matter attracts the singularity of the universe. So here everything was lost. The love, the bonding, even the separation of life and death. So you also have the theme of mirror image and binary opposites, which ignites our soul onto the quest for it. So this is how I started writing, and this was my journey.
Thank you for sharing that. So my another question is about the contributions to the open letters. So I'll start with Joanna. Tell me about your writing process about this open letter that you wrote on purpose.
Okay, so like when I got the invitation to actually be one of the writers, I was super excited. I was like, wow, I've never gotten this before. It was so exciting. Um, I had a tough time figuring out on what I was going to write about, because like when I have this really big problem. I'm not sure if you guys have this, but then like when I think of writing, I think too much to the point I can't write. Like there's so much of things I want to write, but then like when I want to write, I can't get it out on paper. And
It's
that's
more like
something I,
overthinking that happens, and then
yeah, like I wouldn't call it writer's block, because like it's not like my mind is blank, but then like there's just so much I want to put out there, but I just do not know how to put in words and stuff, and like everything is super jumbled up. So I kind of had like a little difficulty with that. And I was thinking like, oh my God, what can I write? What can I write that makes it very special? You know, that makes it as if I'm talking to the audience, to those who are reading. And then I realized that, okay, you know what? Since I'm a Justin Bieber fan and Purpose is one of his albums, link again to Justin Bieber, um, I thought of writing something to do with purpose and pain. So finding purpose in my pain, meaning like my journey and everything. So when the audience reads my writing, it kind of feels as if like, you know, hey there, nice talking to you. We have like the two-way interaction going on in minds kind of thing. Like I do not know how to put it in words, but it was very personal, I would say, and it was quirky, it was goofy, it was sentimental, and I think that it would definitely connect with a lot of people as I spoke about my journey, not only from my weight loss transformation, but also what happened afterwards. I spoke a little about depression that I faced, and also how I went through a phase of self-harming and how I got out of it. And towards the end, it was more of there's always a light, and instead of finding for the light, be the light kind of thing. Yeah.
That's amazing. I loved it, every bit of it. Okay, so Krishna, tell me about your open letters. You have 3 letters, right? So just tell us about it.
Yes, I wrote 3 letters. Goddess of Earth, Take Your Power Back, and I'm sorry you're not healed from your trauma. And I think they all come from a very personal space, right? Because a lot of my writing has to do with like my personal journey. But I think if you look at the broader, spectrum of things, our stories are always connected, right? There's always somebody out there who's had those similar experience. So Goddess of Earth is just talking about how powerful women are, and sometimes we forget that. So it's like a reminder to myself and all the other amazing women out there who do so many things. It's a reminder to them that they are the ones who kind of create this wonderful world. So it's like an ode to them. And then Take Your Power Back. It's, essentially growing up and like just learning and like navigating through life. I think sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us, and we kind of give our power away to a situation, to a person, or whatever it is. And taking your power back, I think it's a calling for yourself, and and saying that no matter what happens in life, the only thing you have is control over yourself. So when you take that power back, when you give power to something, right, it has the ability to mess with your mind, to bring you down. But when you take that power back, because that's what you have, that's what you carry, that's when you realize that you don't have to worry about anything else. And I think that's what the take your power back is about. And the last one, I'm sorry you're not healed from your trauma. I think essentially a lot of us, and I say this to everybody, like I think everybody in this world needs therapy. So like there's things that we don't talk about. There's things that we go through on a daily basis that sometimes we don't know how to handle emotionally. And we kind of project that onto others. So whatever has been done to us, we take it, we do something to it, and then we project it onto other people. So when we understand that everything that's done to us is a form of projection by somebody else through their own unhealed trauma, I think it brings us peace in a way where we kind of want to feel empathy for them, versus have a grudge or hatred towards the other person. So the whole trauma thing, I think it came from the experience of like being called out when I was younger about like my acne, about my weight, and everybody just coming at me and saying, well, you look healthy, So like I've heard those comments from like random people that I would just go to, like weddings, events, whatever it was, they would come to me like, oh, you can try this for your acne, you can try that for your acne, or how about have you tried this to lose weight and this and that. So unsolicited opinions, that they're giving me about myself. So like, I think now we're at a place where we are mindful about these things, but back in the day, I mean, obviously when I was a younger girl, like these things obviously were told to us blatantly, and people didn't think about what they were doing. So it's a letter to them in a way where, I understand where you're coming from. What you're saying to me was once said to you, and I'm sorry that you're not healed. So that's essentially what these 3 pieces are about.
Thank you for sharing. I think it's high time for us to basically see people beyond their skin and flesh, and look for them for what they are actually.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
So Natasja, tell us about your open letter.
My letter is just one letter. It's a letter of self-compassion. I named it A Love Letter to Myself. I thought it was an important entry because, like many other people, I haven't been the nicest person to myself. I deal with depression and anxiety, so that takes its mental toll. And I've put a lot of unrealistic pressure and expectations on myself that I've internalized as well from others. So my letter was basically about giving myself some grace instead of being unkind. I wrote it in the second person perspective because this letter isn't just meant for me. I wanted the reader to be able to read themselves into it as well, and hopefully give themselves some kindness and some love too. It was an interesting experience for me because I really put all my heart and myself in it, and I don't open up easily to people, so it's all out there now, so I'm proud of that.
Thank you for sharing such a wonderful piece, and it's out there, and we all can actually learn from it to love ourselves.
Thank you.
Megha, tell us about your two entries, Lust for Life and Modern Dating.
Yes. So I chose these two topics. First is lust for life, and the it might sound like a fancy topic, but then the basic idea behind it is how to use the time in your life mindfully. Because as they say that you lose money, you can always recover it, but if you lose time, then it's gone forever. And I have seen that binge watching is like the new opium of our age. People just spend a lot of time binge watching, and a lot of time doing things which don't really add up in life, things that don't really bring good experiences to them. It's more like constantly entertaining yourself and not trying to grow yourself as a person. So lust for life is an address to people uh, about how they can utilize the time in their life, how they can realize the importance of time, and how they can utilize their time mindfully. And another is modern dating. This is another topic which I feel is there is a need to talk about it in our generation, because now people have access to so many options, and being faithful to each other, or being kind to each other, or even treating each other with basic human decency is something which is less expected out of people, and that is not a very healthy way of going about dating. So I dedicated that topic to the second letter.
Great, great. Okay, so moving on to Vijay Lakshmi, tell us about your open letter.
Yeah, I have written about spirituality, and like throughout our lives, we are in search of our true nature, and are we able to find it? Is the question. Is it just the consciousness, or is there any biophenomena attached to it? And I feel that Almighty is always waiting for our love when the love for all other forms are extinguished forever. And we have this thirst, or we have this quench for um, love, and finding the love beyond love, that is love beyond the transcendence, is the real challenge. And choosing a spiritual path and looking deep within is the choice which is given to everyone, but only a few seek and look for it. And the body, the mind, and the soul, they come into unison. And when you see beyond illusion, or when you see beyond Maya, you know what is dream and what is reality. So thus knowing is being. And in the next letter, I have written about love. And love is of different types. Because first you have to love yourself. You have love for the divine. You have the love for your partner, your son, your daughter, mom, dad, nature, the higher force. So everything is love. And love is the force around which everything revolves. And without love, the universe cannot exist and the universe cannot function. It's the love beyond love of the transcendental and the temporal. And in the anthology, I have written about love and what if. And I would like to read out my favorite one, which is close to my heart. Uh, it is entitled Is Not Mine Anymore. So, based on the concept of love, the musings of the human soul, the fragmented heart divided from the body, is not mine anymore. The vision of the future and the probability of the past is not mine anymore. The scribblings of the letters, the calligraphy of the sentences is not mine anymore. The breath of my existence, the pumpings of my heart is not mine anymore. The pangs of separation, the pain of being together is not mine anymore. The vicious circle of entanglement, the straight line of detachment is not mine anymore. For my life belongs to you, even in the abyss of it.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so well put about the definition.
Thank you.
So, okay, so my next question is, what is one thing about our culture that you like and another thing that you want to change? So, Joanna, if you want to answer that.
So something I like about our culture.
Yeah.
You mean like being an Indian?
Yeah, being an Indian or South Asian, anything.
Okay, so well, when it comes to me, I think that well, being an Indian myself, I was brought up in a very English-speaking community back at home, so it was very tough for me because I used to be bullied because of it because I could not converse in Tamil much, and that became a source of bullying. But I absolutely love the culture because of the tradition, and also I live in a very multiracial country. I live in Malaysia, so we have many different races, and it's indeed fun to actually discover more and more, because I think that when it comes to knowledge, every day is a day where you learn something new. So since we have many different friends around from different backgrounds, I enjoy sharing about my culture with them, and it goes both ways as well. So it's a really fun community. And honestly, I would not want to change anything about my culture or where I come from or anything at all. But I kind of just wish that the people in my country, especially the Indian community in my country, would be a little bit more open. As I have faced like a lot of backlash from them, especially when it comes to doing something I want or wearing something I want, and it has been really, really difficult. But then I think that all it needs is basically time for people to start being a little bit more accepting when one of us does something new or brings something new to the table. So yeah, that is just all from me.
That's good. That's actually good. And I think a lot of us can resonate with the last part of, being accepted in the way we want it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Krishna, what about you? Something that you like and something you want to improve?
So I am a proper Gujarati by heart. Even living in America, like I've always had that close to my heart. I'm always about like Bollywood movies and the songs and everything. So I think I've kept that part of the culture alive with me here, whether it's like going to garbas or like just dancing, even or bringing my culture to places where it's never been seen before. So I think I live in a place where like it's the best of both worlds, right? So I get to experience the culture here, and I also get to share my culture from India. Like I'm originally from Ahmedabad too, in India. So we did like Holi, Garba, everything that I remember when I had childhood memories when I was there. So, like Joanna said, like I think bringing a part of your culture to a new place, and having them experience it, I think that's a part that I love. I love educating people about our culture. Like I had a friend who would say that I've never seen a more proud Indian than you, even though you live here. I'm like, yes, so that's just me. So like any chance that I get, like my former company that I used to work for, I introduced Diwali to them. I introduced Holi to them. Like I had huge functions at the company, and like everybody there loved, learning about the culture, learning about the celebrations, the festivals. So I think that's the part that I really, really enjoy. Another part that I resonate with, I think our culture it's so rich, right? When it comes to foods, like even things like just healthy eating, healthy, like taking care of your body, like yoga and stuff, which is so like westernized these days. Anything that we've done for many, many years ago, like it's westernized and it's like a brand new thing, but it's existed in our culture from a very, very long time. So I think those are the things that I cling on to, that I enjoy. Learning about like little things from my grandmother, about like home remedies, from my mother, from family members. Like I think these are things that I will carry on with me, and I also teach other people. Things that I don't like, similar to what Joanna said, I think that there's a lot of restrictions and a lot of there's people that need to have an open mind, and I think it does take time, because we kind of cling on to what we know versus learn something new. That's sort of human nature if you don't want to change, right? So I think that's one of the things that I've faced as well, and I think a lot of those limitations are put on women. in my opinion, and from my experience, I've seen that they are majority of the time they are put on women. So I think it's time that people broaden, their understanding and kind of give that equal space at the very least.
That's well put.
Yeah.
Natasha, what about you? What you want to improve and what you love about culture?
Well, I'm Indo-Caribbean, which means that my ancestors came from South Asia and they were taken or went to the Caribbean. And I now live in the Netherlands, which means there was a second migration that happened. So there's a lot of time and moving beyond or through generations, I should say. So I can only speak for the Indo-Caribbean culture that I grew up with. A thing I love about my culture is the communal aspect. I love that the community is there to support and encourage and help others in their time of need. I think that's really beautiful, especially growing up in a more individualistic country. The downside to this is that within the diaspora I grew up in is that there's a certain lack of boundaries. People are often unable to say no, even when they want to. So when someone asks for something that's unreasonable or someone simply is unable to help, they'll still say yes, even if it's at their own expense. So I personally think that there's more need for balance and better boundaries within the community so we can have healthier relationships amongst each other.
That's good. Megha, what about you? What do you have to say?
Yeah, so the thing that I really like about our culture is that it's rooted in a lot of art, and even poetry for that matter. Growing up, I used to listen to Kabir ke Dohe, and these little couplets from Sanskrit, from Hindi, even from Gujarati. I grew up in Ahmedabad, and there's house of poets are there, Kavi Narmar. I feel that our culture brings along a lot of art with it, and this art is also inspired a lot from nature and the current events which are happening during that time, and a lot of philosophy. So that is something which I really like about our culture, and I uh, keep talking about it with my friends, with my circles, and I would like to carry it forward. And something which I don't particularly like about my culture, or something where I feel that there is room for improvement, is that our community is a little judgmental, I would say. If they find someone who is a little different, who has a little different school of thought, um, rather than trying to understand, sometimes people jump into judgments, they jump into conclusions, which I feel there is much room for improvement over there.
That's true. So, Vijay Lakshmi, what do you have to say on this?
Yeah, the, the essential thing that I like about the South Asian diaspora is family, because family binds us together. And in our culture and tradition, we treat the whole world as one family. And there are no differences as such, even when we are separated by country, caste, or religion. So there are no differences. So this is a very beautiful concept. And then we have the rich storehouse of Vedas and Upanishads, of course. And my favorite one is Isha Upanishad, wherein it says, like, it is an invocation to God. Om Purnamada Purnamedam Purnamaha Purnam Rakshita Purnasya Purnamedaya Purnameya Shishyate. So it is like I bow to the complete one, the eternal one. And I'm also captivated by the life of Buddha. So if you see, you have the Eastern tradition or culture where it was the root of Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, or Islam, and all religions. Like. And I'm also captivated by the life of Buddha, wherein uh, he speaks of Om Mani Padme. That is, the jewel is hidden in your heart, and the jewel is nothing but your soul. That one particular dot in you, which is trying to reach the divine. So we all are one. So this is the concept which I like the most.
Great. That's amazing. Okay, so my next question is, what message you would like to say to people, to creative people, to writers in these hard and uncertain times? Joanna, if you want to answer that.
Okay, so like a lot of people out there, especially my friends, they really want to start writing, but then like they don't know where to start. You know, it's always like they kind of find difficulty in writing, and some of them really want to learn like English and other languages and writing as well because they want to learn more. And since I come from a very multiracial country, we have a lot of Malays, Chinese, and the list goes on. Most of them come up to me saying that they want to learn how to speak English, and they want to learn how to write in English as well. So what I would advise them most of the time is that if you really want to get to know like the English language and stuff, you can always start reading first, like what I did. And then when you're feeling upset or lonely or depressed or excited, or if you're feeling all sorts of emotions, start writing it instead of what we do on Instagram. Normally, like take videos and pictures and post them up and stuff. Like writing gives a whole different feeling. I would say it's like pouring your heart out where it's between you and the paper, and that's just it. That's just no one else, and your secret is safe with the paper, and you don't have to worry about it going out and stuff like that. But then for other people out there, I would say that if you really want to write, writing is a language where it can be in any sort of language. It doesn't mean it's only English. It can be in Tamil, it can be in Chinese. It's totally up to you. And it's indeed beautiful when people express themselves so well on paper, because I don't think that we can express ourselves that well in person. When it comes to me, I enjoy meeting people, I enjoy talking to people. But when it comes to expressing myself, I would say that's really difficult, especially when you're confronting someone. And I would really prefer if I would like write it out instead. Like I'm always a writing person, and like people around me always tell me that I should be more expressive in person. But that's just me. I enjoy writing, and I think that if someone really wants to write, they should actually start writing. It doesn't matter if you can write it in length or anything. As long as you start bit by bit, I think that you'll be pretty good.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for the advice. Krishna, what do you want to say to people in this hard time who are trying to be creative?
I think writing is a very personal journey, right? So for me, like if I decide that I want to sit and write something, I'm gonna have a blank paper, like nothing's gonna come. I let it flow through me, right? So I would be like doing a chore or something, and I'll think about something and I'll quickly write it down. Like that's how I think it comes to me. I don't sit with the intention of writing and then it'll come to me. So I think don't think about it so much. Just let it flow through you. That would be my advice. And writing it, like Joanna said, it doesn't have to be something that's going to put out to the public. It's just for yourself. So don't think about what's going to happen afterwards. Just think about that moment and what you want to write about, if that's what you're pursuing. I mean, there's many other creative outlets. There's visual arts, there's pictures, there's so many different things ways you can express yourself. So if writing is not it, then obviously you can explore those other avenues. But writing, like I said, it's less of thinking and just doing, especially for me. So don't think about it, just write.
Great. Natasha, what advice would you like to give?
To creative people, I would say look within. Think about a part of yourself that you want to share with the world, and then try to be brave. We all have a story, so everything you need is within you, and it's up to you whether you let it out. That's my take.
Great. Megha, your message?
So what I feel is that whenever someone sits to create art, now it can be through writing, it can be through painting, or other avenues. People actually have a lot of thought that, oh, probably it's not good enough, probably it's not perfect. So perfection is not something which you should strive for with the first draft. Of course, like they say that you write drunk and then you edit sober. So my message to the creators would be that the more you create, the more you can create. So just go ahead and put it on paper, put it on put it out there, and then later on you can always do the finishing touches. But begin, that is like begin. That's where the key is.
Okay. Vijay Lakshmi, your message?
Yeah. So you should be consistent and persistent and live in the present. And there are three essential things, that is, you should have faith, trust, and hope. Because these three things can change your life, it can work miracles in your life. And like faith, it can move mountains, and hope is the only element which keeps us alive for tomorrow. And the present is also based on it.
Great, well put. So my next question is, if not writing, what else do you people enjoy doing, and how would you divide your time between writing and other activities? Joanna?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, what I like to do besides writing would be definitely reading, but then lately I have had not much time to actually read due to the amount of workload that I have. So that has been on hold for a while now. Besides that, since I am on social media a lot, I really like to use my platform to advocate on important things. Like I have talked about my battle with weight. I've talked about sexual harassment and what I've been through before. And I've also talked about many different things, like what's going on in Malaysia and stuff like that when injustice is involved. And I think that me using my platform to actually speak about things like these are really, really important, because a lot of people out there, they do not want to speak about things as such because they look at it as a taboo topic, or, because they look at it as like, they're afraid to get in trouble, basically, especially if it's with the government and stuff like that. But then I'm a very vocal person, so I enjoy doing that. And I also enjoy meeting new people. At this point, it's online because of the whole pandemic. And today, Malaysia also announced that we're going through our second lockdown starting in the next few days. So it's going to be really, really tough, I would say. And yeah, it's just meeting people online and sharing stories and, getting to talk to them and relating with them and trying to help them out with things that you're facing in life and having a connection with people. That is something that I really, really enjoy. And I also like to incorporate writing in my captions. So if you go to my Instagram account, you can see that I write really, really lengthy captions with my pictures. I'm not sure if people actually read through them, but I really hope they do, because it comes from my heart and I really try to relate it with the picture as well. Sometimes people tell me that it helps them out, like it makes their day and stuff like that, or it can be something that they are personally going through in life and they relate so much to it. Most of the time, people just leave really nice comments as well. But it makes me really happy that people are actually reading what I write and it can actually resonate with them. Yeah, so this is how basically I try to incorporate writing so that I would not lose my writing touch. And yeah, I just go with the flow as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Krishna, what do you have to say on this?
Yeah, so I'm a nature baby, so I love anything in nature. So like hiking, gardening. Yeah, I would always be doing those things. I enjoy photography too, so whether it's just taking pictures of nature or just people, whatever it is, creating in any way that I can, that's what I enjoy a lot. And similarly, like I also kind of write in my social media captions too, and I've had many people say that my captions really help them. I tend to touch on topics that are deep and that are in regards to like weight, mental health, and just struggles from day to day. So that's one of the things that I really really enjoy. And just being in nature, I think that's one of the things that gives me peace and also inspires me to continue to write. Yeah.
Great. That's amazing. Natasha, what else do you do apart from writing?
So I love storytelling in general. So when I'm not writing, I'm enjoying stories through TV shows, a movie, a book. Even games can have stories. And I love dissecting plots and characters, so I'm part of fandoms too. Besides that, I like talking to my friends, and I do boxing and yoga as physical activities. That's about it, more or less.
Great. Even yoga is my favorite. Megha, what do you do
So
besides? Yeah.
yeah, so I like my days to be filled with creativity. So I when I'm not writing, I enjoy gardening. I enjoy taking long walks while listening to music. I like photography, capturing life as I see it. Cooking is something which I really enjoy, because it's, when you sit to write, you sit with a blank piece of paper and then you create poetry or you create short
Yeah.
stories. Cooking is somewhat similar, because you start with an empty pan, you start with ingredients, and then you create something delicious and amazing. So yeah, that. And in physical activities, I enjoy bicycling, and I have picked up powerlifting these days.
Yeah, that I've seen on social media. Vijay Lakshmi,
Yeah,
what about you?
yeah, yeah. I would like to travel and explore new places, and yoga, meditation, gardening,
Mm.
and traveling to monasteries. But because of travel restrictions, now we are not able to do.
Yeah. I think gardening is something which is common among all of us. We all appreciate nature a lot. So, okay. All
Yes.
right. So I think I'll have my last question now, which is about your future plans. So, what is currently something that you're up to? Anything that you want to say?
I would say that I had a lot of future plans. Like my future plans started with 2020, but then the whole world was caught with the pandemic, and it has been super, super, super tough because right now, I don't know what's going on in my country. Like we had like a really huge spike of cases recently, where it started going from 1,000 to 2,000, and today we have like 8,200 cases, and it's very alarming because Malaysia is a really small country, and the cases just keep going up, and we have gone to a lockdown, like I said. So my future plans are basically on hold, and I have given it to God to actually handle it for me, because there's a lot I want to do. I want to fly to the US. I want to visit LA, New York, and that has always been a dream. I've also wanted to try out modeling in different countries as well, because Malaysia has been really tough on me, I would say. And like I told earlier, people here aren't as accepting, and they look down on a lot of people, especially when it comes to body and stuff. I'm not sure if you guys know, but Malaysia is number 3 on the list when it comes to cyberbullying as well. So it has been a really tough journey, and I just want to put myself out there to explore and visit many new places and meet different people with different backgrounds and stuff. But yeah, we shall see how it goes. I kind of auditioned for 2 different pageants recently, which is Miss Universe Malaysia and Miss Earth Malaysia. But then I think due to the pandemic and stuff, I kind of have to let that go as well, because things are not really going well. So yeah, what I am going to do next is probably just continue what I do on social media, meaning like try to have different campaigns and different live sessions like what we're doing now to discuss on different things and just connect more with people. Maybe jot down in my notebook on the plans that I have, and hopefully when things get better for everyone, I'm probably just going to proceed and see where life takes me. Yeah.
I hope. Good luck for all your modeling assignments. I hope you're able to do wonders in that. Okay. Krishna, your future plans?
My future plans. Oh my gosh, yeah, I have a lot that I want to do, that's on the list. One of which is also publishing a book of my own. I think it's going to be about, actually, there's two. There's a story that I'm writing about my mom's life journey and then continuing on to mine. And then there's another one that's just different phases of me, but I think that's going to be more of a poetry and a prose book. So let's see, I'm working on that, but I think it's going to be a few years since I completed. I think I need a lot of time to focus on it. There is things are definitely at halt, but I would definitely like to go back into modeling, and I'm trying my hand at acting a lot these days. So I'm learning the techniques and just educating myself on that. And yeah, I mean, I'm getting back into. I used to be like great at the gym, like CrossFit and everything. So I'm getting back into it. Also lifting, not powerlifting, but I do a lot of HIIT workouts. So like right now, my current focus is just a physical body, mind, and soul, and just kind of anything that would help me creatively get to where I need to be. So that's focusing on healthy eating, focusing on my physical appearance, and actually expressing myself through writing. So I find time to write each day, whether it's for my book or just this anything that I want to jot down. So yeah, I mean, I have things that I would like to talk about, but I mean, definitely stay tuned on my social media for upcoming things. I have campaigns that are coming up that's going to be out there soon, and I've also started to do. I started like this little thing where I incorporate my writing in a spoken word format through visual arts. So I've shared a few of that on my social media, where there was one I did for the International Women's Day that I shared on social media. I like gathered a bunch of women and I just kind of told a story through a spoken word format. So that's on my story. I mean, on my Instagram. So I'm trying to do more of those things, like a visual art, with spoken word. So yeah, keep posted on the social media, and I think you'll.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot coming.
Natasha, your future plans?
So on a professional level, I want to maintain my blog and my social media, and continue giving writing workshops. And of course, I already mentioned the novel that I'm working on, which is very exciting, but a very, very slow progression for me. But that's upcoming. And on a personal level, I would say continue working on my mental health, continue growing and learning. There's still a lot of trauma to unpack. So that's what I'll be working on.
Yeah, good luck with that. Megha, your future plans?
Yeah, so on a professional level, I since I do marketing, so I would want to get into more depth in it. And on a personal level, I am on a fitness journey, so that is where I'm headed. And ever since the pandemic has hit, of course, the long term or long term vision, or this question that where would you be in the next 5 years, I am taking each day at a time. And on the writing front, after this book, I feel much more driven to go for a solo book. So yeah, that, and I was also writing song lyrics on the side. So one song was released earlier, and now there are three more in the making. So working on that front.
Great. Vijayalakshmi, how about you?
Yeah. Like I have published 6 books so far, and I want to write a book on God, a sort of poetry collection, and then a self-help book too, and a novel too, which is based on the concept of time and space. And I just want to spread positivity and smile on social media. And like recently, I have like we have a project to start NGO organization also. Like somewhere or the other, this COVID has changed me a lot, and I started giving preference to the most important things in life. So I have all these plans listed.
Great. Good luck with all the plans. So I think we are almost done with our questions. So is there anything that you guys want to say, ask, or anything? Do we have time, Vijayalakshmi, or I think we are?
Yeah, we have time.
Okay. So anything that you want to cross question to our co-authors, or any question for me?
I just want to say thank you to everybody for sharing their experiences. I think each one of us has such unique experiences, but they're also so similar. So thank you everyone for sharing, your time, your energy with us. I think I learned a lot from this conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been a great journey, actually. Yes, Natasha.
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that too, and a special thank you to you, Sweta, for bringing us all together. And then I have a question for you as well. What's the best experience you've had so far on your journey as a writer or author?
Best experience, I would say, is that when people say that they can relate to your ideas, to your journey, I think that's the best thing that you can get. As a writer, I think the idea when people connect with your ideas, with your, thought process, that gives me immense pleasure. So for me, that has been the best, I think, compliment as of now. Yeah.
I can relate to that too.
That's great.
Yeah,
I
I just
want to
want
say, oops.
please, carry on.
Yeah, Megha. Yeah.
Firstly, I would like to say thank you so much
Yeah,
once again
Jill.
for having me. I think that it was incredible meeting so many different people from different backgrounds and hearing all of your stories today. And I also enjoyed writing my piece as well. It was a very new experience. So thank you for having me on that. And for those of you who are watching as well, thank you for watching. And I hope that what all of us have spoken in this conversation today would have related to you guys as well. And I wish all of you guys the best of luck. And also, I know that some countries are really bad when it comes to the pandemic, and I pray that everything gets well soon. And I think the pandemic has personally taught us all many different things throughout. Like I learned the value of family throughout the pandemic, and I really realized that I miss having much time with my family because I'm always busy. So we've been doing TikToks and stuff, and I hope that you guys are also going to experience more in the upcoming future. And I hope to read more of what all of you have published as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joanna.
So Sweta, I actually wanted to. I have thanked you a lot of times, but I wanted to thank you again for
Thank
this
you.
book. You, of
Yeah,
course,
you have the copy.
yeah, I got my copy, yes. So we
Yeah.
wrote our letters and all, but then you compiled them, you brought us all together, and without you it could not have been possible. And this has been such a wonderful journey because we come from different backgrounds, we come from different professions, different walks of life, but then there's still something which connects us. There's something which deeply connects us, and it's not just writing, it is our South Asian culture. And for me, it has been a fabulous journey. So I just wanted to thank you for bringing us all together and for making this possible.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So I
Megha.
would also like to thank Sweta for bringing us all together. And we have this wonderful anthology collection that is Unsent Letters from the South Asian Diaspora. Do check it out on Google Play. And I just want to quote the poetry of Rumi, that is, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So thank you.
Thank you. That's love. That's amazing. So thank you so much, guys. It was an amazing interaction, and I really loved all of your inputs. And I hope that it comes out soon. I mean, COVID has actually halted all of our plans, so we don't have that much of distribution, paperback, or even international distribution on Kindle available. But I hope this comes out to be very soon, and people are able to download and read through our open letters. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks, Sweta.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye.
by the way, if you guys want to visit Malaysia, you know who to call. I'd love to bring you guys around one day.
Anytime, anytime. Let the
Yeah,
pandemic go
definitely.
first. You have the
Right.
lockdown.
Bye.
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 Bye, guys.